Please, come in. I do apologize for my sister's crassness if it made you uncomfortable. She's unabashedly scandalous, but in the club business, I suppose that kind of personality's a necessary evil. Nonsense. She's nothing but. She's got issues she's still trying to get over, and so she's locked herself in the bathroom. Jealousy, really. You see, I was the family favorite, and I'm the successful one, and as you may have noticed, she's obviously starved for attention. Under the half-shirt and miniskirt, she's rotten to the bone. Please, get to the point of your presence in my city. That I am. My sister's schoolgirl in distress act may bring patrons in, but it's my level-headedness that keeps it open. Therese Voerman, yes. I'm the proprietor of this club, and the only person in this city whose good side it's in your best interest to stay on. What brings you to Santa Monica? Jeanette is the freak show I keep around to lure in curiosity seekers. She's very good with the clientele, but her business skills are approximate to those of a 4-year-old with a $1 bill and a 5 and dime. Tongue's exile is self-imposed, I assure you. But then what reason would I have not to hate that loathsome Nosferatu scoundrel? Bloody Nosferatu. They're so unclean. Tongue's exile is self-imposed, I assure you. But then what reason would I have not to hate that loathsome Nosferatu scoundrel? No offense. He meddles in my affairs. He's a bad influence on my sister, and she on him. If you were in my place, would you let him compromise your authority? You most certainly would not. I'd quite like it if I never had to hear that name again. Why would I do that? Let him think I mean to kill him. That way I don't have to worry about him sabotaging everything. Do you realize how his subterfuge makes me look to the Camarilla? I'm not sure the Camarilla would find that an acceptable method of dealing with one's rival, and right now, I very much need their approval to become officially recognized as the legitimate administrator of this city. Tongue and his co-conspirators' actions ruined my chance at partnership in a crucial piece of property. I do have several other promising ventures, and one in particular has been, to say the least, an ordeal. I'd be willing to put the word out that my grievances with Tongue have been swept under the rug, but in return, you'll have to help me remove a particularly burdensome spirit from a property I'm looking to invest in. Oh, I forgot. You're still new to this. Allow me to break you in. Yes, ghosts exist. Werewolves, mummies, and I'd expect a whole lot of other things I've never seen share the night with us. I suppose he would if you killed me. But as I understand it, your existence is very tenuous at the moment, and the slightest mistake could be the final nail in the coffin. Listen, you're young and naive, so I'll offer you this chance one more time. Continued existence versus a beautiful sunrise. I'd give it serious consideration. You're new to this, aren't you? Were you trying to dominate me just now? That was so stupid it was almost cute. Almost. Rumor is that a personal item of a ghost's may be used to draw it out or excise it from its haunt. While I don't put a lot of stock in hearsay, it's my last option. So I want you to go to the Ocean House Hotel, find an item of the spirits, and bring it back. As much as I'd like to ensure it's done properly, you're in no position to refuse. That is, if you still want me to call off the feud. You don't. They're perfectly harmless. If you have to tear the building apart, do so. 3 construction crews have already refused to go back to work because they've been spooked, so to speak. Oh, I fully intend to do so. You'll find that dealing with me on the whole is appreciably more predictable than dealing with some of the egomaniacs that are my peers. So long as our business doesn't go sour, my word is gold. If you'll excuse me, I've got situations to set straight. You, what were you thinking? How could you give her that item from the hotel? Do you know what she did with it? She threw it into the Pacific. Do you know what this means? It means that I can't get rid of the spirit now, which means that that property is useless to me. And to make matters worse, someone's just gone and ruined my event at the gallery. Shut up! I thought I could control my sister as long as Tongue was out of the picture, but nothing's changed. Because of them, I'm in a worse position than I was before. The Ocean House is worthless. So our business is forfeit. The feud is on. Seldom life is. I should have never entrusted this with an amateur. Did you contemplate the consequences of your actions for even a moment? Did you? Well, if it's any consolation, you're not the first to be used by Jeanette. We had an agreement. You blew that agreement. Even if my sister was at fault, you played into her hands. And I've all but had her destroyed for her actions against me. In fact, I may have been too severe with her. Incompetence I can forgive, somewhat. Threats, on the other hand, I do not tolerate. If you want to stay in my good graces, if you want to accomplish this goal of finding Tongue, I suggest you do what I ask. Don't you think I'm aware of that? This is my city. I know everything that goes on from borders to beach. But listen to me, fledgling. If you want to please your prince, you'll do what I ask. I'll make it easy this time. Jeanette and Tongue are a noisome beauty and beast. Between them, they've nearly crippled my plans. I can control Jeanette, but once she's found a partner in crime, she turns into a bloody nuisance. Underestimate her? She's a clown, a painted, perverted joker on Tongue's strings. Jeanette does things on a whim, for amusement. Underestimate her. Don't insult me. You're not the first to fall victim to her duplicity. I'd like to make an exception for you, but still, it's inexcusable. If you want to get back in my good graces, there's something else I need you to do. What? You can't tell me what to do anymore, Father! You'll never tell me what to do ever again! What? You can't tell me what to do anymore, Mother! You'll never tell me what to do ever again! I made some threats against my sister. Idle threats, involving fire and her impious satin sheets. She took them quite seriously, and is avoiding me. I want to meet with her, and explain that they were said in the heat of the moment. I asked her to meet me at the Surfside Diner, to reconcile, but I'm busy with the club and my other endeavors. I'd like you to go to the diner and promise her that I don't plan to take any action against her. Wait for her in the back booth, near the phones. Jeanette is my sister and my child, or did you forget? What kind of monster would I be to condone such action? You have no more right to do such a thing as you do to even ask it. Go! Get out of here! I want her back. For all her unwholesome diversions and irritating disruptions, I should be less tolerant of her. She is my sister, however, and I suppose I'm obligated to forgive her her trespasses. I did sire her, after all. Please, be quick about it. I want to see my sister. Yes, I'll call it off once I've spoken with her myself. Just do what I ask. I need to speak to Jeanette face to face. I don't have time to argue about it. I don't have anything else to say to you. I won't forget what happened here. But I'd advise you to. If you keep silent and stay out of my business, we'll never be at odds. Just remember whose city this is. Good evening. I assume you're doing well for yourself. What brings you back to my domain? Since Jeanette's passing, I've had little trouble managing this city. In fact, my allegiance to the Camarilla over the Anarchs is now official. If anything were ever to happen to LaCroix, I'd have a relatively good chance of being the next prince. I'm cleaning it up. The Sabbat will never get a foothold here again, I assure you. I am, at last, in full control of this city. The museum! That was my event! Did you think I wouldn't find out? Shut up. I thought I could control my sister as long as Tongue was out of the picture, but nothing's changed. I should have expected that you'd succumb to Jeanette's influence like all the others, but how dare you! Don't lie to me! Jeanette already confessed she tricked you into doing it. It was probably all Tongue's idea. I'll deal with them later. But that's still no excuse for you ruining my museum. My museum is wrecked! Do you understand? Now, if you'd like to atone, or if you'd like to provide further assurance of your innocence, I have one more task that has to be dealt with. Jeanette claimed you did it for her, but let's say I believe you. After all, you've acted decently and rationally up to now. I imagine you'd still like me to call off the feud. Excellent! I'll take that. However, there's only one problem. If Tongue gets word that I threatened Jeanette, which he most certainly already has, it's not likely he'll believe me. So, in order to call off the feud, you're going to have to convince Jeanette to forgive me first. You know, when you address me that way, I'm almost inclined to believe you were responsible for what happened at the museum. So I'll ask you one more time. Will you go settle things with Jeanette? Let me explain the situation to you. Either you do this and absolve yourself of guilt, or you refuse me. I believe you actually did destroy the museum, and I won't help you get to Tongue. I'm terribly sorry about that. My sister was just furious about your refusal to take part in her designs, so she sent those men to kill you. But I'm going to make sure it never happens again. Drop by. We'll take care of this Tongue business. Of course you weren't. Just like you weren't working with him. So vulgar. I can't even look at you sometimes. You Jezebel. Just the sight of you. The sight of that wicked, painted pout, concealing that dirty, diseased mind. Sin! You have no shame. Go ahead and mock me. You pull your pranks, make fun of my ways. It suits you. You're just one big joke. Should I start calling a duck a pig as well? Is it any different than the way you treated Father? You don't say a word about Father. At least he loved me. That's it, Jeanette. Run away from the truth. I'll take care of everything, as always. Before I forget, take this. The only way to reach the Ocean House this time of night is through a tunnel in the sewers. You'll need that key to open the gate for that tunnel.